Let's take a step back in time, a big step, to the 12th century. To our left, there was nothing but vast stretches of marshland, lakes, and sea. To our right, at the mouth of the Amstel River, was an early settlement of simple huts. Settlers built a dam across the river, hence the name Amsterdam, or the dam built across the Amstel.
Now, fast forward a few hundred years. Amsterdam has grown into a fortified medieval village, complete with dikes, ditches, and canals to control the sea level. Even this far back in time, it was an important trading hub. Ships sailed back and forth across the Baltic Sea carrying grain, cloth, wood, and salt. The original wall of Amsterdam would have been to our right. During the Middle Ages, a moat, now called a singel, encircled the city. The church you see, the St. Nicholas, was built centuries later. Named after the patron saint of seafarers, it stood overlooking the harbor. Also to our right is the 15th century Schreier's Tower. This outer defense tower got its name from the scare, or sharp corner, formed by the city walls that met here.
Look to the left. Nothing you see, including the land itself, was here during medieval times. Over the centuries, much of the land around us was wrestled from the sea. To reclaim this polder, or land that was once covered by lakes and seas, industrious Amsterdammers built dikes and used windmills and pumps to get rid of unwanted water. And they've done an amazing and ingenious job of it. When it comes to controlling sea levels, the Netherlands takes the lead worldwide.
There are no straight lines in Amsterdam city center, but instead concentric canals lined and crisscrossed by streets, some centuries old. Amsterdam has almost 100 kilometers or 60 miles of canals, even more than Venice.
The city grew up around Dam Square, where the Amstel River was dammed in the 13th century, giving Amsterdam its name. In Old Dutch, it means dam built across the Amstel.
Over time, land was reclaimed from the sea, ramparts were raised, and canals were dug as part of an ever-evolving cityscape.
The building with flags atop it is the former Scheepvaarthuis, or shipping house. A group of shipping companies ran their businesses from here. This early 20th century building is considered to be the first true example of the Amsterdam school style of architecture. The front of the building is impressively adorned with statues of Neptune, his wife, and 4 figures that represent the points of the compass. The building is decorated inside and out with all kinds of nautical symbols, anchors, ships, and famous Dutch mariners. It's now a 5-star luxury hotel.
Is that a Chinese restaurant? Looks like it's on over there, I can tell. Yeah.
The golden age of the 17th century was a stellar time for Amsterdam. From politics and the economy to arts and science, everything flourished. And the city was now the most important trade center in Europe. There are many reasons for Amsterdam's astounding success. It had the largest and most progressive shipbuilding industry in Europe. Dutch traders sailed farther than anyone else, to newly discovered lands in the Far East and to North and South America. They organized into companies like the Dutch East Indian Company and the Dutch West Indian Company. And the profits from trading staples like grain and exotics, such as spices, porcelain, precious stones, and textiles, were enormous.
That's it there.
Okay. Where?
It's right for you there.
Is that booking.com?
No. Yeah, that building. It's the grey one.
The grey one? Can't see. I can see the word up.
We are now in the Amsterdam, or East Harbor. It was constructed at the beginning of the 19th century. The tall, green ship-like building is Nemo, the Children's Center for Science and Technology. With lots of interactive exhibits, it's a popular place for families. As much as it looks like a ship, that wasn't the original intention. The famous Italian architect, Renzo Piano, designed Nemo as an inverse reflection of the A tunnel, which runs beneath it. The building's height equals the depth of the tunnel. Nemo gets its green color from the oxidated copper that covers its walls. There's a unique sand-filled terrace on the roof where you'll find sunbathers searching for rays while enjoying beautiful views of the harbor and the city.
Imagine someone dropping the phone.
we're building up ahead is the Muziekgebouw, a concert hall for 21st century contemporary
Oh, yeah?
music, which includes the black rectangular Bim House, a venue for experimental jazz. People come
See it
to the
right
Music
there,
About
everyone?
not only for the music, but also for a meal, drinks, and an outstanding view of the A. Its construction is part of a movement to bring some of the city back to the waterfront. As more locks and artificial islands were built, the city of Amsterdam has become landlocked. But the city continues to expand and is actively developing this new, lively area at the waterfront.
Around 2.5 meters deep. According to boat boys, the canals in Amsterdam are around 2.5 meters deep. The Amstel River is 3 meters deep. The Amstel is the only river in Amsterdam. The rest is all canals.
Oh, okay, that's where we get the bus to, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a terrace, right? There's a building with a swing on.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to do that.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
I'll try and get it in tomorrow then, yeah? Like I say, if we leave early enough to go to Belgium, when we get back, go on it.
We can.
Amsterdammers get across the A using blue and white ferry boats, which shuttle not only people, but also their bikes back and forth, for free. But it's not the only way. Got a car? You can drive from the city center over to North Amsterdam through the A tunnel, which runs under the lake. Many types of transportation converge here at the harbor. Boats, buses, streetcars, trains. You can see the backside of Central Station, Amsterdam's train station and gateway to the city. Thousands of regional and international trains come and go through this major transportation hub. for the Overhoofs Tower. It has 4 giant shells in the square of its roof, and its top is shaped like a drill. It also has an observation deck, where you can take in panoramic views of the harbor. The Overhoofs Tower is part of the Overhoofs neighborhood, a new addition to the city that includes places to live, work, and kick back and recreate.
The Eye Film Museum is located in North Amsterdam, a city suburb. It's the white building with the unique architecture. North Amsterdam, as well as other areas around the A, are being developed rapidly with a modern flair. You'll find many interesting buildings popping up as Amsterdam continues to grow.
Okay,
Yeah.
doing yourself.
I'm enjoying myself.
Oh, it's nice and calm.
The A
I
is
know.
a fresh
A
water
little
lake
bit rougher.
created by a series
But
of
it's not
locks
that rough.
and a massive
I know.
dam.
They're not
Out
worse
here,
off.
we're 6
What?
meters below
They're
sea
not
level,
worse off.
but it's still dry.
What's the
thanks
worst
to
you've
some
been on?
truly amazing engineering.
Been on some nasty
The
boat
Amsterdam
rides.
harbor is the second largest harbor of the Netherlands. After the Second World War, the main harbor activities were moved to the
What's the
western part of
nastiest
the
one
city.
you've been on?
But you'll still see a variety of water traffic, including barges, riverboats, and cruise ships. Riverboats are often docked in the harbor. These long, flat tourist boats sail to the east to the Rhine River in Germany. You can also frequently see huge cruise ships in Amsterdam's harbor. They come from all over the world, entering the harbor through the North Sea Canal.
From here, you can see the Palace of Justice. This very modern, angular building is home to the District Attorney's Office and the Higher Court for Appeals. There's also a series of prison cells tucked away in the basement of the building.
Mackey's or KFC.
Is it KFC? Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
There we are.
The Western Islands offer a quieter look
What?
at the transformation of an area that was
You
once
can go for all
primarily
that,
shipyards.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The old red-shuttered warehouses are now swanky lofts, thanks to a flurry of artists who moved in at the right time and found themselves in the role of neighborhood pioneers. The narrow streets and wooden drawbridges will charm you.
250 bucks at the boat.
Wow.
You know then for
Yeah.
250 years.
No way.
We're continuing on the Prinsengracht, west of the city center. Looking for something else authentically Amsterdam? Pay a visit to the Jordaan, a lively and well-known neighborhood not far from just of the Prinsengracht. In the early 17th century, this neighborhood sprang up outside the city
This way.
walls to house a growing population of poor laborers and immigrants who served the city's wealthy.
That kid.
Through the
Spell?
19th century, the Jordaan continued to be a district for the industrial working class, known for its outspoken inhabitants, romantic flavor, and community spirit. Today, it's become one of Amsterdam's most popular residential districts. Crafts and trade people still live here, along with students and artists, and most recently, an influx of well-to-do young professionals.
The Jordaan has many charms. A bustling marketplace, little cafes and pubs, hidden courtyards, and art galleries. If you have time, wander through narrow cobblestone alleys and experience the lifestyle of true Amsterdammers today.
One more thing to note about the residents here. If so much as a single ray of sunshine is out, expect to see locals dragging their chairs out onto the street to soak it out.
The Noordermarkt is one of Amsterdam's most colorful and lively markets that date back to the Golden Age. On Saturdays, it's a farmer's market, packed with fresh organic vegetables, meat, and other good things to eat. On Mondays, it converts to a flea market with antiques, art, clothes, and many other treasures waiting to be discovered.
What?
The market is held in the square outside Noorderkerk.
Was that there when you were
This
there?
octagonally shaped
Similar
church
to the other
was built
that
in the
one.
1620s to serve the poor, while the rich attended Westerkerk on the other side of the Prinsengracht. Both churches were designed by Dutch architect Hendrik de Keyser. The lines in the pavement outside Noorderkerk mark an old cemetery for the poor. The rich were buried inside.
So,
What do you want to get off the boat?
get back to the hotel
What time do you say?
after a swim.
Alright, right.
Can you spot any warehouses along this canal? Look for their telltale wooden window shops and triangular spout gables. Until about a century ago, these warehouses were filled with dry goods and other supplies. But today, the most likely thing you'll find inside is people.
After industries moved out of this area, the warehouses sat vacant until squatters discovered the empty buildings in the 1960s and 70s and put them to use. But this didn't last for long. Seeing potential in the warehouses, which are located right next to the water, in a historically significant part of the city, developers pushed the squatters out. The warehouses have now been renovated and made into luxury apartments. Today, they are considered to be very attractive, fashionable, and expensive places to live.
Would you live in one of them?
What?
Would you live in one of them?
Yeah,
Where'd you live?
57.
Oh, that's right, I'm there, you go.
We're approaching the Anne Frank house, where Anne Frank, a young Jewish girl, and her family hid in a secret apartment for 2 years during the Nazi reign. Anne kept an eloquent
16:24.
diary that brought her story, her
29
private
minutes, that's how
thoughts,
long
and the
we've been on the
hardships
boat.
she faced
Half an hour,
to
so
the
I'll
world.
ask.
In this way, she's become a symbol of the Holocaust. In her diary, she mentions the tolling of the bell of the Westerkerk, or Western Church.
Oh, there's that church we went to before.
The church was built in the 17th century and is the largest Protestant church of the Netherlands.
You know, yeah.
Hendrik de Keyser, the city's architect, designed it in Dutch Renaissance style. He died before the tower, which was made of stone and brick, was finished. The tower proved to be too heavy for the supports it was built on, which were thought to be of second-hand wood, and it started to lean. When de Keyser's 2 sons took over the project, they decided to finish it with a lighter building material.
And there's that other boat tour we're going to get.
At the top
Yeah.
of the tower is a blue crown, a gift from the Emperor Maximilian I of Austria to the city for its coat of arms.
One last thing about the
Scaffolding,
Westerkerk.
there it is.
This was
Yeah.
where the famous artist Rembrandt was buried, in an unmarked grave.
What? What?
He give you the finger, kid.
Who?
That guy.
Who did he give it to?
You.
Why?
Just having a laugh, mate. Oh, did you watch the thing? Did you not friend's house?
We was in there earlier.
Did you not see him give you the finger?
No. Idiot.
You got that?
What?
I think cry.
We've been on this boat for 32 minutes.
If you visited this neighborhood 400 years ago, the streets would have been overrun with poor working class people. You'd have to step around open sewers and steel yourself against the nasty smells of dead animals and the tanning business that hung heavy in the air. Many tanneries set up shop here, and some of the street names reflect this animal-based industry. You can find a bear street, a deer street, and even a skin street. In general, though, it was the cow, and sometimes the goat or hare, whose skins were tanned, and these were used to make shoes, saddles, and many other items. Today, you get to experience something very different. The streets are now lined with cute little shops and fancy restaurants, and the air is fresh and appealing.
Yeah. What? Why are you doing that?
Just about to sneeze.
They're waving at us.
Way back.
Yeah.
Jason who does the things like that, look at.
I know.
Funny that one, ain't it?
How old is it?
It's only young, mate. My age, bit of crack in it.
How's he doing it?
Just having a bit of a laugh. The other middle finger back. Me? Went like that too. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
You'll have that on your film as well.
What?
You can give us the finger.
We've been on the boat 40 minutes.
Let's go right down in a circle.
That's the hotel. Oh,
Freedom of religion, free
Don't do
speech,
that.
sexual freedom.
don't do
All of these
that.
are outlawed in parts of the world. We are glad to say that we can take freedom for granted in the
Stop.
Netherlands. Dutch television and radio broadcast frank discussions of drugs, euthanasia, and body functions. No one giggles at nudity.
Of course, Dutch law places a few limits on what we can do. Discrimination, libel, and slander are illegal. So was blasphemy until 2014. Like every society, we Dutch have our taboos and disagreements. But on the whole, we're grateful to have a nation devoted to freedom for all.
The action or offence of speaking sacrilegiously about God or sacred things profaned more.
Who's calling you?
Oh, I know.
Never answer it.
I'll phone her back in a minute. Oops.
You don't have to panic.
I know.
What's your text off?
Yeah.
Got phone off mine.
Yeah, you can.
Just text it off and see if it's still in it.
I'll phone her off yours. I phone off yours. Yeah, you just keep it like that. That's it.
Transfer. Is it ringing?
Calling.
Put it in here. Is it ringing?
Looking for nightlife?
Is it ringing?
On weekends,
No.
DJs pump out
I don't know.
high-energy electronic music and dance parties all over Amsterdam. Some of the best DJs in the world hail from the Netherlands, including Martin Garrix, Chesto, Hartwell, Armin van Buren, and Afrojack. With good things like
Hiya.
these, Amsterdam has
We're on
become
a-
an international hotspot for electronic dance music.
Is it?
Every year, Amsterdam hosts the Amsterdam
On a
Dance
cruise, on
Event,
a
or
canal
ADE,
cruise.
a 5-day festival that draws over 2,200
Yeah, it's good.
electronic dance music artists, including the world's biggest
Freezing,
names
eh?
and
No, it's not
hundreds
too
of
bad.
thousands of
It's
fans.
warm on this boat.
It's not too bad. It's warm on this boat. Yeah. Yeah, it's busy. Yeah.
Tell about the Ajax.
Hiya. What have you
We are now on the Leidse
What have you been up to since you've been in Morocco?
Canal, a connector canal which cuts across the 3 main canals. Until
Have
the
ya?
18th century, house numbers didn't exist
What
in
food have you
Amsterdam.
had?
Instead, people relied on gable stones. These carved and sometimes
Have ya?
colorfully painted stones were set into a
Rice
house's
and
facade,
croissant.
often above the door. Pictures made reference to the occupant's religion, profession, or their family crest.
No way.
For example, a butcher might have a picture of a
Ken,
lamb. A
what
dentist
did-
might have a tooth. A miller,
What about
a
Yvonne?
windmill.
What does she have?
As we ride along the canals, keep an eye out for gable stones. There are more than 650
Okay.
throughout the city. As you find them,
Oh,
you can
that
challenge
sounds
yourself
nice.
by guessing what they might mean.
You're not sure what meat it is?
They have allow me done that.
Yep, they have halal
The
meat.
wealthiest citizens, shipbuilders, merchants, investors, and politicians built
They have
elegant
halal
mansions
food.
on the Herrengracht. The Kaisersgracht
What's the food like?
was
Good?
solidly
Is it
middle
good?
class, while the
Is the food
Prinsengracht
good or have
had
you
a
been
more
better?
industrial atmosphere. Of the 3 canals, the Prinsengracht was the only one that
I
connected
know.
directly to the harbor, and its low sides were
Same.
designed for loading and unloading cargo.
Do you not really eat that
Note,
much?
the farther you live from the city center, the lower your social class.
Has anyone tried to get
Today,
your money?
this would no longer hold
And in
true.
Moroccan?
All of the city center is expensive.
We are now
What's the
on
dirham?
the Leidsegracht,
What's the currency
or
like,
Leidse
dirham?
Canal, a connector canal which cuts across the 3 main canals. Until the 18th century,
Is it?
house numbers didn't exist in Amsterdam. Instead,
What is it
people
like
relied
out-
on gable stones.
Are they nice
These
people
carved
or are
and
they rough?
sometimes colorfully painted stones were set into a house's facade.
Have they been alright with you?
Would you recommend it?
Pictures made reference to the occupant's religion,
Would you recommend
profession,
it?
or their family crest. For example, a butcher might
said
have a
he would
picture of a
recommend it.
lamb.
Well, yeah, it's
A
alright then,
dentist
yeah.
might
Is it
have a
alright then,
tooth, a
Agadir?
miller, a windmill.
As we ride along the canals,
Would
keep
you?
an eye out for gable stones.
What
There are more than
you gonna do
650 throughout
tomorrow
the city.
and Saturday
As you
before
find
you
them,
go?
You can challenge yourself by guessing what they might mean.
Ayo. That cat looks lovely. Are they all home? Do they? Wow. Did you not? Would you not eat a chip? Wow. Have you? Have you spoke to anyone while you've been? Have you spoke to anyone while you've been out there? What's he telling you? Is there? Wow. What was the airport like? I know. What did you do? Yeah. Why did he say he was going to get his mate?
The Gentleman's Canal.
Did he?
It was part of a careful plan to expand.
Where did you get your currency from?
In the early 17th century, a time of tremendous physical and
Did
economic
ya?
growth, 3 new canals were laid out in concentric
Wow.
rings. The Herrenbach was innermost. The Kaisersbach,
Is it not?
or Emperor's Canal, was in the middle, followed by the Prinzenbach, or the Prince's Canal.
Yeah.
Wealthiest citizens
And
shifted
you know,
away
you
from
should have got a
investors
Moroccan
and
SIM card.
politicians, built elegant mansions on the Herrengracht. The Kaisersgracht
I know.
was solidly middle class, while the Prinzengracht
Yeah.
had a more industrial atmosphere.
If you was there
Of
a
the
week
three
or more, you
canals,
would have had to get a
Prinzengracht
SIM
was
card.
the only one that connected directly to the harbor.
Or if
and
you
its
got
both
it-
sides were designed for loading and unloading
Or if you went for
cargo.
3 days, get a SIM
And
card.
so, the farther you lived from the city center, the lower your social class.
I know.
Today, this would no longer hold true.
I
All
know.
of the city center is expensive.
How long were you in the taxi? Did you not? 22 dirham.
As we pass by these richly decorated canal houses,
Was it?
there's so much to notice. So many
I
flourishes and details.
bet that's keeping our money.
Ornate door cases, sculptures, and of course the decorative gables at the roofline.
Wow,
There are
that
several
is
different
keep.
types of gables, and
To
over
keep
the
to our
decades,
money.
they've gone in and out of fashion. See if you can
Would you
spot
say?
them all. The oldest type is
I'd
the
say the
spout gate.
Euros are the same as
This
ours.
basic triangular shape is seen only on warehouses. The 17th century
How are you gonna
step
get to
gable
the Edinburgh
looks just
Hotel?
as you'd expect, a series of steps. The
Edinburgh
neck
Hotel.
gable, with its straight up and down sides and scrollwork
When?
decorations, came a bit later, followed by the bell gable, which has a more rounded, bell-like shape. By the 18th century, the
Signal
cornice
gone, Kev.
of flat-top
Signal.
gable was most popular.
Tell your phone when you get back off the boat.
There's
Hello?
one thing that all gables
I'll
have in
phone you back
common.
when I get off the
The
boat.
hoisting beams.
Okay.
Staircases were so
Bye-bye.
narrow and steep that furniture and
What?
goods were lifted to the upper
Hiya?
floors
Hey, tell
via
about
the hoisting
the Ajax.
beams, along with a good strong
Oh,
rope,
it's gone.
a hook, and a pulley.
What you
Goods
gonna
were
say,
generally
kid?
stored up
He's
high
just saying
to keep them
they
dry
offer- they
during
try and
the
get your
city's
money.
frequent flow.
Who should we be speaking to back
There's
home?
a strong tradition of moving.
He's
things
been
this
speaking to a
way,
few English
as
people
the
there.
newly
Oh, out there,
constructed
yeah.
houses have
Yeah.
narrow stairways
It's okay,
and
yeah.
are still
Yeah, she said
equipped
it's
with
okay.
hoisting beams.
Until the 18th century, house numbers didn't exist in Amsterdam. Instead, people relied on gable stones. These carved and sometimes colorfully painted stones were set into a house's facade, often above the door. Pictures made reference to the occupant's religion, profession, or their family crest.
We've been on
For
the boat
example,
52
a butcher might
minutes.
have a
Should we be
picture
back
of a
now?
lamb.
Yeah.
A dentist
No,
might have
why?
a tooth. A miller, a windmill. Illiteracy was high, but such symbols were easy to understand.
As we ride along the canals, keep an eye out for gable stones. There are more than 650 throughout the city. As you find them, you can challenge yourself by guessing what they might mean.
You may have noticed that most of the city's houses are made of brick. That's because bricks could be made locally. They were very porous compared to bricks of today, and had to be oiled, tarred, or painted to protect them against the weather. You'll only see stone on the facades of the wealthiest of homes, because it had to be imported, costing much more than brick.
For the shoppers among us, to the west or left of here is a unique shopping district called Negen Straatjes, or 9 Little Streets. Each street is a block long and full of quirky boutiques and specialty shops. It's a relaxing and fun place to explore. Coming up on our left, at numbers 170 and 172, is a beautiful 17th century red brick mansion with white sandstone accents. This is the Bartolotti House, designed by Hendrik de Keyser, Amsterdam's most famous architect of the time. It was built for a very successful beer brewer named Willem van de Heuvel. He changed his name to Bartolotti to honor an Italian relative who had left him a sizable inheritance. The facade has two inscribed panels that reflect Bartolotti's and many other 17th century businessmen's values. They read, "Through talent and diligence," and "Through piousness and virtue."
Homes like Bartolotti
We've been on the
were
boat
designed to
55
showcase
minutes.
their owners'
We've been on
enormous
the boat
riches,
for
and yet, this was a time when Calvinistic views predominated. Calvinism is a form of Christianity that emphasizes strict and
You did,
industrious.
but they try and get you
The
money.
rich found
that's what
themselves
they
in
want, make them
conflict.
boys.
Their religion
Try and get
required
into
them to be
everything.
humble, yet with so much wealth, how could
My
they
mum
not
says there's a
show it
lot of
off?
homeless cats.
Often they ended up quietly trying to outdo each other.
Yeah.
Today, the city's many canals are still used for transportation and for managing water levels. And they also have a new function, as a place to live. Amsterdam always seems to be short on housing, and during a real crunch in the 1960s and 70s, houseboats appeared as cheap places to live. The city now has around 2,500 of them. Some are old converted sailing vessels. Others are simply homes set on floating pads. As for cheap, not anymore. Houseboats are now connected to gas, water, electricity, and municipal sewage. And owners have to pay taxes just like anyone else.
Have you noticed how many homes have brick facades or faces? At first, Amsterdammers built their homes entirely out of wood, but after two massive fires at the end of the 16th century, the city took action. It passed a law requiring that all newly constructed buildings have facades made of
Been on this boat
non-flammable
58
brick or
minutes.
stone. But all older buildings were still made of wood, and Amsterdam experienced one of its biggest fires along the Keizersgracht during the 18th
Must be getting
century.
back now.
Yeah.
Today, the risk of fire persists. Even though reinforced concrete is used for new construction, many of the older houses still have their original wooden skeletons. We are now approaching Brouwersgracht, or the Brewers Canal. This canal was part of the city's 17th century expansion. It connects the three main canals, the Herengracht, the Keizersgracht, and the Prinsengracht, and used to form the northwest border of the city. With its arched bridges, many houseboats, and beautiful architecture, it's now one of the most picturesque waterways in the city.
But that wasn't always the case. Many of the industries banned from residential areas ended up here. That included the smelly ones, like leather and whale oil processing. And of course, beer brewing, which gave the Brewers Canal its name. Because water quality was so poor, people turned to beer as a safer, healthier drink. Only the rich could afford wine, which was imported, but everyone drank beer.
Many of the buildings you see are old workshops and factories, or warehouses. Merchants originally stored goods in their houses, but as trade increased, more and more warehouses were built. See if you can spot some. Look for triangular spout gables and windows with wooden shutters. The shutters help keep goods dry and dark.
We are now on the Single, passing through locks that were originally built to regulate Amsterdam's water and to keep the city from flooding at high tides. Nowadays, locks and dams further out have closed Amsterdam's harbor off from the North Sea, and city residents don't have to worry about tides. Instead, the locks are used to flush water through the canals, keeping them clean. Amsterdam replaces the gate every 50 years or so. If you look closely, you might find the dates these gates were last replaced. It's recorded on the gates themselves.
Yeah.
And no talk about transportation in Amsterdam would be complete without mentioning bicycles. You've probably figured out that they're Amsterdamers' favorite mode of transport. All around Central Station are places
know.
to park, from a huge multi-level bike parking area to a converted ferry filled to capacity with bikes. More people bike than drive to work, and it's estimated that the city has around 1.6 million bikes. That's more bikes than people. In typical Dutch style, the bikes are very practical. Single-speed coasters with foot brakes. Sometimes with a crate in front for carrying everything under the sun, including children. In Amsterdam,
The old one.
expect to see everyone
built it
from the
underground.
sophisticated
What's this now?
executive to the Harry
that's
Mother
the
of
your bike
three,
garage.
pumping away on a two-wheeler.
I said then they built that big one, didn't they?
Yeah.
Central Station, the transportation hub of Amsterdam, is built on 3 artificial islands and is supported by around 8,600 wooden piles. The building was designed by 2 architects, Kuipers and Van Gent, and its front is really quite amazing. Made of red brick and white accents, it's a combination of Neo-Renaissance style and Neo-Gothic towers,
Good.
and is called
Yeah.
eclectical
This one is.
I know.
Let's have a bit of what we are.
We need the toothpaste.
Yeah, we've got a little shop there.
I know. Yeah.
Coming full circle, we're now approaching Dublin, the original mouth of the Amsterdam, and nearing the end of our cruise. It's here where the Amstel once met the air that a few peasants with dreams of building a future spawned this great city. Clearly,
Uniform, you
their
want when you get off here?
ingenuity and
Yeah.
hard work have paid off. That first dam across the river started a series of events that's led to the
5 o'clock.
incredibly unique and picturesque Amsterdam we're able
I
to
know.
enjoy today.
Good.
Remember what that spa was last night?
In the red light district.
Is it? I'll do it.
Right.
I'll just shop near the hotel, but we'd have to get off the bus and then wait for the next one.
Would you? What? No, alright.
How long have you done that now? An hour and 10 minutes?
Yeah. No, 8. Here you have it. Here was the canal tour of Amsterdam.